Andrew Tate is a British-American kickboxer and online personality, but as of late, this persona is branded as a homophobe, misogynist, and racist. For today's video, we'll be looking at what other social media personalities have to say about Andrew Tate, as well as some of the boxer's controversial takes. Only here in today's video, so make sure you keep watching it if you don't want to miss out. Following XQC's criticism of his misogynistic comments and objectification of women, Twitch star Andrew Tate was left fuming. Andrew Tate, a popular internet figure, was furious after Twitch star XQC called out his sexism and objectification of women. The internet is notorious for its bizarre viewpoints, irate chatter, and animosity against protected groups. However, it is also to blame for the significantly accelerated transfer of poison from verbal to digital platforms and communication. Indeed, the majority of foolish statements or thoughts from less well-known people don't seem to resonate as much. However, in the case of influencers, erroneous opinions can produce a great deal of commotion and aid in rallying uneducated and cruel people around a more nefarious case, viewpoint, or belief. Recently, infamous kickboxer turned influencer Andrew Tate, who is well known for his sexist, misogynistic, and frequently polarizing opinions, debated with Twitch stars Aiden Ross, XQC, and Trainwreck. Even though the stream covered several relevant topics, it's reasonable to assume that Tate's opinions weren't shared by all viewers. Andrew Tate is criticized by XQC for treating women like his Lambos. The most shocking subject was perhaps Andrew Tate's views on women and the extent he went to in order to support them. This includes their having terrible drivers, without irony. Tate asserts that because women are less safe drivers than men, he wouldn't feel comfortable letting an 18-year-old woman operate the vehicle. On the other hand, he wouldn't mind if a male took the wheel. According to Tate's own experience, he feels safer when a guy is driving rather than a woman. Tate made an effort to defend his position throughout the stream by pointing out that he is not advocating for women to never be allowed to drive or to be restricted from doing so. In addition, he accepted that some women could drive safely, but he made it clear that men drivers are superior to women drivers. Aiden Ross, Trainwreck, and others kept an eye on the rally as the fictitious jury, while Twitch star XQC, who is also renowned for his hostile community and weird perspectives, mainly sat on the opposing side. Although XQC's response wasn't the best at expressing his ideas, he responded to Tate by saying that gender shouldn't be a factor in determining whether or not someone is a bad driver. A bad driver on the road, you can see, is a bad driver, XQC retorted. I don't give a f if they're old, missing both hands, if they're a guy, if they're white or black. I don't give a f. That person can't drive. His comparison effectively treats his fiancée like a piece of property or his automobile. Tate's analogy was refuted by XQC, who claimed that he could not justify it if most of the women he dated had the IQ of a person who is immobile and helpless on the side of a curb. It doesn't make sense in the real world because you don't park your girlfriend on the curb at the club. They move, they talk, they do shit. The Twitch star added. Tate refuted the reasoned reply by exalting his position about XQC. According to him, the ladies would act better with Tate than XQC if they were dating the same guys. In a clever and hurtful retort, XQC says he treats and pays for women like Lamborghinis. After many hours of back and forth discussion, XQC refuted Tate's assertions and slammed him for his objectification of women and misogynistic viewpoints. Tate eventually marched furiously off the Discord call after XQC had fired some misses across all the anecdotes, analogies, and grounds of contention, but not before letting out one more scream to insult XQC's brains, morals, and opinions. But this issue didn't stop there. In a separate stream, XQC went on to explain why he had to refute Andrew Tate's controversial remarks. On July 15th, 2022, XQC declared on his Twitch livestream that it's absolute chaos and that once people understood that, he had to work harder and get involved in the conversation. According to the streamer, the issue with individuals who talk to Tate is that they don't go against his perspectives or his beliefs. Instead, they just say yes and nod. He reasoned that if he didn't, they wouldn't be able to debunk or they wouldn't be able to second guess Tate's thoughts. The streamer went on to elaborate, saying that Tate needed to clarify his views before letting them slip throughout the live. In his declaration, he emphasized how crucial it was to determine whether Tate intended his words in any other sense. This is mostly because the influential former kickboxer made some egregiously sexist comments regarding women. Before jumping to conclusions or allowing the general public to support Tate and sharpen pitchforks, XQC wanted to learn more about Tate's perspective in this area. Even when the speech was delivered with the best of intentions and a lighthearted attitude, it may not always have been received as such. XQC jumping in and questioning Tate's thought process is something more people should have done earlier on. But regardless, it's also a welcome act now. As the saying goes, better late than never, since this kind of warped thinking is detrimental to society. Many people interpret explicit or particularly harsh takes in different ways, especially when they relate to viewpoints against protected groups, race, gender, religion, etc. In extreme instances, it may serve as a rallying cry for individuals who support abhorrent and hateful forms of discrimination, like sexism, racism, or homophobia. This sentiment is especially significant because Twitch is a platform where millions of people assemble to see what is, in many ways, really fascinating entertainment. In addition, many Twitch watchers are minors, thus it makes sense why XQC didn't want misogyny to continue onto the site. Although XQC didn't always express himself clearly, his willingness to stand up against Tate's sexist beliefs and even allow him to do so in the hopes that he could have meant what he said differently demonstrates his righteous nature. Now let's talk about Andrew Tate in more detail and how he has developed into a risky role model for boys or an internet hero for a fractured age. Currently making waves online, Andrew Tate is making news for his contentious views on being a man and generating money. The kickboxer, casino owner, and billionaire businessman has recently started to appear in more streams and has attracted some Twitch and gaming community attention, particularly after a contentious argument with streamer HasanAbi. Some young men are listening to Tate's advice and following his Hustlers University training program, which boasts enrolling 110,000 pupils annually. Others claim that his misogynistic beliefs are encouragement of conceit, and the self over compassion and empathy are harming young, sensitive minds. Dom Sacco, the editor of EN UK, adds his opinion to this piece. Aside from his racist and misogynistic remarks, Andrew Tate is also known for spouting a lot of useless information and even claiming that depression isn't real and how it's the mother's job to look after their children. Tate argues that his ability to cheat or have several partners comes from the fact that kings in earlier times could have multiple affairs. One thing we find difficult to grasp on is when someone who isn't a mother or father offers to advise on, say, how to raise children. Andrew Tate claimed in a video interview with Leah Halpern that a father does not need to be present with his children, that it is the mother's responsibility to raise the children, and that he only saw his father once a month when he was younger. The controversial UFC fighter asserted that women lose some of their mystery if they stay at home constantly, and mystery is necessary for a woman to remain attracted to a man. He continued by asserting that fathers were typically away at war or working in coal mines, and that this is how it's always been. Andrew Tate is plainly trapped in the past. Despite his efforts, he refuses to acknowledge how things have changed. Maybe you can't, like a lot of other people. And that demonstrates exactly what type of a self-centered guy he is, by prioritizing the sentiments women have for him over being there for his children in the future. Honestly speaking, it's a bit difficult to convince Andrew Tate to broaden his mindset, since the controversial icon has been making racist and homophobic remarks way back in 2016. Users of the Digital Spy site found that Andrew, one of the 6 others on the show, had previously used several nasty slurs in his Twitter posts. Tristan, Andrew's brother, has defended him, saying that although their father is black, this does not account for any of his other infamous actions. Whatever the case may be, Andrew Tate being given a platform in social media is a scary thing, since he could influence a whole generation on how to act and such, which could be troubling for our society. And with that, we're wrapping up today's video about Andrew Tate as a homophobe, misogynist, and racist. We're hoping he changes his ways, and we're thinking sooner rather than later. Before you go, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on for more videos like these, and we'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching.